Okay, before I start today's Retrobat Nintendo Switch Sudachi setup guide, if you like what you see today, hit notifications, subscribe and like so you don't miss out on upcoming retro emulation content here on my channel, just Jamie. That means you'll get notified of every setup guide I release, which a couple of times a day, a few times a day, and it also really helps out my channel too. So first things first, if you're new to my channel, I got a massive playlist of Retrobat, so it's quite likely if there's a Retrobat guide you're looking for specific, please look in my playlist. Like I say, it's very likely I've done it. So anyways, we're looking at Sudachi today. So in the past I've covered Yuzu for Retrobat, and I've also done Suyu. Today we're covering Sudachi. So if you go to download this in Retrobat, it's not going to happen. If you put games in Retrobat in your Switch folder, it's not going to happen. What you need to do is actually download Sudachi outside of Retrobat. I'll leave the link in my description, and the latest release of Sudachi is version 1.0.2, which was released May the 27th. If we just go here and we scroll down, we'll find a link at the bottom. So I'm going to download the portable version of this. As we can see, windows.zip. Just download that one. Now, once you've downloaded it, you will download a zip folder like I've got just here. You've got all these contents inside. What we need to do with this is go to the Retrobat directory. Easiest way to do this is right-clicking on your Retrobat shortcut, open file location, and from here what we're going to do is go into the emulators folder. In the emulators folder, you should find a Sudachi. Now, if you don't find a Sudachi folder, then it's quite likely you're not running the latest version of Retrobat, which is 6.2.1 as of recording this video. Here's the Sudachi folder. So what I'm going to do is press Ctrl and A, and I'm going to drag and drop or extract all those contents inside of the emulator Sudachi folder. Just wait for that to extract. Next thing we're going to need once this is done is we're going to go into the user folder, and in the user folder you're going to find a keys folder. In here we're going to drop prod.keys in title.keys. So what we're going to do next then is add some games into our Switch folder. So again, Retrobat directory, open file location, ROMs. Right at the bottom you're going to find Switch. It's not listed as Nintendo Switch, it's just Switch. And here we go, so Switch is here. Next thing we're going to do is just drag and drop our games inside. Now it's pretty versatile to use Sudachi. .nsps work as well as .xci files or file extensions. Just drag and drop your games in there, and that's it, you're pretty much good to go. So we're going to open up Retrobat now. Okay, so if you've done everything right, you should now see Nintendo Switch once you open up Retrobat. If we go inside of here, press select button, view options, advanced system options, emulator, just make sure Sudachi is selected. If you leave this to auto and you don't want to use Ryujinx, then you do need to use Sudachi. So what we're going to do is scrape some artwork, main menu, scraper settings, and make sure your preferences is chosen there, and you've also signed up with Screen Scraper, and we're just going to go to scrape now. Okay, once that's finished, we're going to go to game settings, update game list, and yes. Okay, so we got some artwork and preview videos. This looks pretty bad at the moment. The reason this is because we do need to mess around with the theme settings. Main menu, user interface, theme configuration, game list view style. If I put this down to say game carousel and come out, and there we go, that's a lot better. So there's a reason Darius Burst hasn't scraped artwork. It's quite likely the way it's spelt. If that's annoying you, then all you need to do is rename your game file in your ROM Switch folder. Just put it down to something which is a bit more readable. I presume it's the X plus at the end of this one. Anyways, we got the same usual settings for video. We can actually click on a particular game, just hold down the A button, advanced game options, and from here we can change resolution up to 8 times. So what I do suggest is for Nintendo Switch games, if you've got a lower end computer, it could blow up your computer and burn your house down, and we don't want that. So just be very modest with the internal resolution. Of course, Nintendo Switch emulation is very cool because we can upscale things, but like I say, just be reasonable with things. If you've got a lower end computer, then just go to something like 1 times, 1.5 times, and if you find it starts lagging, then just obviously drop the internal resolution down. I'm actually going to put this one on 2 times. We also got vertical sync, and I suggest putting this to yes if you got Vulkan. It says mailbox Vulkan only, as well as FIFA Relax. What this is saying, if you want to use that option, we need to go down to drivers, video, and here you'll find Vulkan. So if you want to use that option, make sure Vulkan is selected. So if I open up the game, Sudachi should now boot up, and just press run on this. So as we can see, the game's running perfectly. Now that's not going to be the situation for every Nintendo Switch game. Some Switch games will appear to be very laggy initially, and what that's doing is building shaders. But literally in most cases that's just on your first time loading and playing a couple of levels. So other games we got here to test out. I love Kirby, my partner loves Kirby, and we got a couple of Kirby games. Personally, I'm going to go for Darius Burst because I'm a big shooter fan too. So again, if we press A button and hold it down, remember I'm using the Xbox button for this. If you're using a PlayStation controller, then it'll be your X button. Again, I can go down to advanced game options just here, and I can turn the internal resolution on for this. We're going to try 2 times again for this one. Vertical sync, I'm going to put this one onto yes mailbox Vulkan, which I'm just going to remind you, for that option you need to go to drivers, video, and select Vulkan. From here we can also mess around with visual settings. We've got anti-aliasing just here, which will take away jagged edges. Now just like internal resolution, by increasing anti-aliasing it will put strain and stress on your computer. I'm going to try FXAA. We also got scaling filter too, which is going to add a bit of a filter to our games. I'm going to put the linear on. And we also got anisotropic filtering. Now this is going to add more definition to textures in games. Not that Nintendo Switch games really need it, but if you think you've got a man enough computer, then by all means put this up to 16 times and see what happens. Okay, with those settings applied, let's check out Darius Burst. And if this little warning starts annoying you, just use your mouse and just uncheck always ask before opening this file. So next thing I'm going to tell you is that from the last couple of Nintendo Switch videos I've done, Suyu as well as Ryujinx, people's been asking me how you add DLC and updates. Now, I have covered those in the past, but I'm going to do that again just to make sure that you know what you're doing with this. So what we need to do is in the Retrobat directory, just go into the emulators folder and look for that Sudachi folder again. And if we open up Sudachi outside of Retrobat, all we need to do then to add DLC and updates to games is just go to File and literally just go to Install Files to NAND. And then from here you can then select your DLC and updates. Double left click on it and it will install it into the emulator for you. And you can then use it through Retrobat. Okay, so that's it for today's Retrobat in Nintendo Switch setup guide. So, like I said at the start of the video, I have done Yuzu, which is discontinued at the moment, but I've also done the fork of it a little while back, which is Suyu. So, anyways, if you liked today's video, hit notification, subscribe and like. And don't forget, I got a massive playlist of Retrobat. So, if there's anything you're looking for, I've very much covered it, I'd imagine. Anyways, join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. But until next time, stay retro.